What's up, everybody? This is the Chicago Sports Talk Michael back at it again with another Chicago Bears video. I want to talk about the consequences of drafting Caleb Williams that I don't think a lot of people are comprehending. And a lot of people are not looking at what drafting Caleb Williams is going to set the Bears franchise up because tomorrow is the combine week. So obviously, let's change the future a little bit. Let's say we do go with Caleb Williams, and you're trading Justin Fields for a second and maybe a third round pick, which is Justin Fields' trade value at this point. You take Caleb, what are you doing with the ninth overall pick? Are you trading down? Because you're not going to get much draft capital unless someone's in love with a Bo Nix, someone's in love with a JJ McCarthy, or someone's in love with a Michael Penix. And you would miss out on potentially game changer players that are entering the draft. So you draft Caleb Williams, most likely Marvin Harrison will be taken by the Cardinals. Roma Doomsday, I would not be surprised if he also got taken before Malik Neighbors. And Malik Neighbors might also be taken in before. So you're missing out on three potential receivers that can help the Bears. You don't have the Bears are going into this draft with currently, as of this video, 6 draft picks. There is, and I want to throw this out of the way, there is not going to be a team, whether that's the Steelers and the Falcons, they're not going to give up their first round pick to get Justin Fields. If they're going to get a guy like Justin Fields, they're giving up a late round pick for Justin Fields. And that defeats the purpose of Ryan Poles saying he wants to build through the draft. So let's take it from a grain of salt. Drafting Caleb Williams means that you trust and believe he'll be better in year one and take this team where it needs to go than Justin Fields can do it. So, and the people that say that we use excuses for Justin Fields, do you want to know what they're going to do? They're going to use the same excuse for Caleb Williams. And also, I want to say another thing. The Bears may be interested in drafting a quarterback, but keep in mind this, folks. It may not be Caleb Williams. They could trade down and still take Drake May or Jaden Daniels. Or they can go in the later rounds, select Bo Nix, select Michael Penix, select who else? JJ McCarthy. And maybe in the later rounds, there's also Jordan Travis. So let's take it from this point on that the Bears may be interested in taking a quarterback, but the chances of that not being Caleb Williams. And I want to tell you this. Let me ask you a question. And I love when people bring up the Texans about how they made it to the playoffs with a rookie quarterback and had to have a playoff win. Do teams, when they draft a rookie quarterback, like this is not the Texans where they had a new head coach and found their head coach finally. Is there a certain quarterback that has been drafted has saved a lame duck head coach's job? Ever. That value of the number one overall pick does not guarantee you can have your franchise quarterback. because the last quarterback to ever, and I repeat, ever win the Super Bowl and be selected with the first overall pick was Peyton Manning. How long ago was Peyton Manning drafted? I can't even remember because it was so long ago. So the consequences of drafting Caleb Williams is you have a kid that's translating to college to the NFL. You don't know what he's going to be. So maybe Caleb Williams is this potential rising star that's going to magically wow you in day one. It takes time and effort. Rome was not built in a day. The Bears have a good thing going for them, rather you think Justin Fields is the guy or not. One big move could, one, get their franchise back, continuing on the path that they brought in last year, or it could send them back. And we have had so much quarterbacks start from the Chicago Bears for my entire lifetime being a Bears fan. The only quarterback that I can say that was the best quarterback in my lifetime was Jay Cutler. And the Bears ruined Jay Cutler. And I'm not really like saying Cutler is like elite or something, but I would be sit here and lying to you saying that the Bears did everything that they could for Cutler, because they didn't do Cutler any favors. And to be honest with you, Bears fans, the reason why I say that I'm not going to care about what the Bears are going to do with Caleb, if they hypothetically in a scenario take Caleb Williams with that number one overall pick, I'm not going to trust the process. You want to know why? Because I've seen this story play out for the Bears, where they fall in love with a rookie quarterback, and the coach gets fired. They bring in a whole new regime that didn't draft the quarterback. You'd be wasting another year of Matt Eberflus's defense. You'd be wasting another year of DJ Moore. You'd be wasting another year on potentially. And plus, I want to keep this on a book. What if? Because this is maybe a likely scenario if the Bears select Caleb Williams. Is it not out the possibility? What's likely to happen? Justin Fields going somewhere and succeeding somewhere else? What's more likely to happen? That or Caleb Williams developing into what you're viewing him as? Because the scenario is this. If Justin Fields goes somewhere and he lights it up, let's say he goes to the Steelers and the Steelers are well organized for him. Mike Tomlin is a very good head coach. All he does is win. I do believe Mike Tomlin can get the best out of Justin Fields, and he has a defense that can bail him out if he needs to. Or you got a team like the Falcons who got Bijan, Drake London, who else? A solid offensive line. So. And also, I won't be surprised if they make a splash trade or possibly trade up to get Marvin Harrison to get paired with Justin Fields. And the Bears do take Caleb Williams, and that sets the franchise back. What's more likely to happen, folks? Caleb Williams, again, I don't have personal hatred towards them than anyone thinks. I just think what we're doing right now is setting up expectations for Caleb Williams, because what you're telling me is Caleb Williams, year one, is going to be better than Justin Fields wherever he may be. And he can elevate this team way better than Justin Fields did. So take it with a grain of salt and say, is it worth not trading down, getting 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and maybe a potential player, was it worth passing up on it? And you can say, well, vice versa may be the same thing. You're right. Vice versa may be the same thing. If we keep Fields, he still sucks, and Caleb becomes a superstar because people think, oh, because CJ Stroud did what he did, we should have taken CJ Stroud. And I will keep telling you this. If the Bears drafted CJ Stroud, and let's just say hypothetically speaking, if the Bears have drafted CJ Stroud, I doubt CJ Stroud would have done the same thing that he did over the Texans, because A, he would have never had DJ Moore. B, he would have never had Darnell Wright. C, their play caller is way better than Luke Getsy. Because let's just say you switch the quarterbacks. You put Justin on the Texans, you put CJ Stroud on the Bears. Who's likely to have more success? Justin Fields or CJ Stroud? Likely choice number 1, Justin Fields. So you could take that narrative of the Bears should have taken CJ Stroud, and you could shove it straight up your ass. And also, they would not be in a position to have the first overall pick back-to-back years. The Bears did the absolutely right thing, even though they probably would have taken Bryce Young with that first overall pick. But you would be lying. You don't be sitting here and lying to me saying that we should have taken CJ Stroud. People think that this is going to be an easy decision and this should be a no-brainer. Ryan Poles is going to trade Justin Fields and take Caleb Williams. No, it's hard. It's going to be a hard decision for Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles has to do his diligence in evaluating Caleb Williams and all the different quarterbacks. Maybe he doesn't believe Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in this draft class. Maybe he views Drake May. Maybe he views Jaden Daniels. Maybe he views Bo Nix. Maybe he views J.J. McCarthy, the best quarterback in the draft class. Maybe he does that. He's not going to be – we're not just going to interview Caleb Williams and that's it, that's all. We're going to evaluate him just like we're going to do for the rest of the quarterbacks that we will once scout. And whatever the Bears do is going to change how they enter free agency. Because if, let's just say hypothetically, they do what they did last year and trade that first overall pick, they're going to make sure every piece that they sign in free agency leading up to the draft is win now moves. I will not be surprised if we overpay for the Danielle Hunter. I will not be surprised if we add some more pieces around Justin Fields. And if we take Caleb Williams, it's going to be vice versa. You don't add more players. You possibly overpay for a running back because running backs help rookie quarterbacks, believe it or not. So you're going to have to likely overpay for Saquon. You're going to have to overpay for Derrick Henry. That's the only two that I'm aware of that are going into free agency. So you cannot sit here and tell me that route is the better way to go. Because when we're talking about rebuilds, if you draft a quarterback, what you can do is you restart. It's a restart. Because let me tell you something. And I want to picture this perfectly. If we were going to get Caleb Williams, why didn't we not get Cliff Kingsbury? I want to know that right now. Why didn't we give Cliff Kingsbury? That would have been the perfect scenario that Caleb would have wanted. Instead, you put him with Shane Waldron. We'll see how that works out. Let me tell you something. As much as talented Caleb Williams is, he probably would have worked out with Cliff Kingsbury than Shane Waldron. So, what are we talking about? And I lost my train of thought after what I was going to say. But you get the point of how the Bears will approach free agency. Why didn't we get Cliff Kingsbury? And I just got back my train of thought. So, if the Bears were going to get Caleb Williams hypothetically, why did they not fire Matt Eberflus and wanted to restart all over again? Because and plus, there were better guys available. And people want to say, oh, you have to let Matt Eberflus draft his guy. No, I don't want Matt Eberflus to draft his guy. I don't want Matt Eberflus drafting his guy. I'd rather, if we were going to move on from Justin Fields, I'd rather pay Harbaugh the bag, bring him in here, and have him select Caleb Williams. What's more likely to succeed? Let's just say two scenarios. What's likely to happen? Caleb Williams succeeding with Jim Harbaugh or Caleb Williams succeeding with Matt Eberflus? I want to know that right now because Jim Harbaugh, all he does is win. So likely, I'm going to ask you the same question that I've been telling you for a long time. So what are we talking about with this whole Caleb Williams crap? I'm going to tell you this from time and time again. What the Bears do right now is going to affect their franchise for a very, 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 very long time. So anyways, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching. And bear down.